Hello everyone, Stormwind here. Today we'll be taking a look into your severe weather update for today and tomorrow. Now we'll be going ahead and taking a look into the SPC's outlook first. We got two areas of enhanced risk out on the plains. Got one area in western Oklahoma and central Kansas, and you got another one in west central Texas. You got a slight risk in small portion of the Mid-Atlantic with a marginal risk all the way back down into the Gulf Coast. Main threats. See, so we got a 10% chance of a tornado today in central Kansas, so we can have some pretty good supercells. Damage winds are there. The hail, it's definitely there for sure. And we can see the hail size larger than that. Tomorrow's been looking like an interesting day. We got a slight risk now from Oklahoma and Texas, all the way up into Illinois, Indiana, and Kentucky. Now, the main threats are damaging winds, large hail, and a few tornadoes is also there. Now, basically what's happening is we're going to have a surface low that develops in Missouri. It's going to be a little bit of, the low is going to deepen some. It's going to be at 984 millibars, which is decent for a low. And that could create some organized severe weather event. And day 3, the cold front moves eastward, got a slight risk for portions of Maryland, Virginia, and Pennsylvania. And we got an area of Nebraska in a marginal risk. I haven't looked at this yet. I'm interested to see. So there's day 4. Slight risk for portions of Kansas, Nebraska, Missouri, and Iowa. Predictably too low, predictably too... Okay. So it's only really day 4 for right now. It's in a slight risk. So we got slight risk for the next 4 days, basically. Let's look into the NAM model here. So you can tell here the jet stream really starts to get going, your trough. You can see your low pressure is in northern Missouri. At this point, it starts to deepen and your winds start to get stronger. There in the jet stream, you create a trough here. We got some really good juicy winds up in the atmosphere over 100 knots, which is strong. Vorticity. We got quite a bit of that for a few areas. Your dew points. Let this load. So here's a look into your dew points. So pretty much in the 70s, so you shouldn't. So it's going to be pretty humid. Let's look into lap rates here. So overall, we got some pretty good low-level lap rates for almost everybody. Let's look at mid-level lap rates. See if this has changed much. Looks like we got some added mid-level lap rates to the south here. But it's not much. Not too much, though. But it is enough for some severe weather. EHI, pretty favorable for Arkansas, then that dies out and then it gets pretty favorable up to the north near the Ohio Valley. It's also very favorable back in Texas as well. An 8. It's pretty high. Helicity. Helicity is pretty favorable for everybody again. Got some 200s going on in central Kentucky. Got about 400 in Arkansas, and same thing for Texas there. Let's look into your CAPE values here. This could load in. So here you go. A lot of Cape to deal with in Texas, which is pretty favorable for some supercellular development. And oh yeah, that is day 4 right there. Pretty favorable for that's a system we're going to watch. That is it's going to be something else. So it seems like Cape Valley has just gone down for around Arkansas, but still the same up in the Midwest. Your strength index here. I keep on skipping it. The strength index has actually gone down for some areas. Down to Texas, it's still pretty favorable. So at this point, Texas is looking to have pretty good severe weather at this point. Now let's look into the supercell composite here. Oh yeah, there is later tonight. Got areas of 9 up into northern Oklahoma. The name is suggesting. So here's a look into it. We may have a capping situation. You can see here, they just about crossed. So this is looking to be a difficult forecast just from the NAM's perspective. We'll go a little bit further south into northern Texas. See what this shows. Cap is not there, which that will let storms develop. Now let's go and move on into to the big day. And supercell composite is pretty high in shoot, if I can find that 17. Yeah, in Texas here. Definitely a lot of energy to deal with. Tornado Fred's definitely there. Very strong jet stream. The shear is low though. That's going to be one thing that tornadoes could be a little bit lower just due to the shear. It's low. Even though the Cape is high, but the shear is low. But where all the shear is actually near the Midwest, nearby the low, like over up this way. You can see how high the dots are compared to this. If you got over 5,000 Cape in this type of shear, this will be pretty much maxed out. I mean, it'll be very favorable for a potential tornado outbreak, but we're not seeing that. So there's 2 different areas to watch. Up north, even though we got some pretty favorable shear, the Cape is on a little bit low inside, and we got a weak tornado threat. So the chances of tornadoes are still there for everybody, but it's kind of a little bit on the lower end side. But in between here, like in Arkansas, that's probably where I could potentially see the best chance for it, where you got some stronger shear in nearby Cape, and put that together, you got tornadic supercells. My forecast area for the best chance for tornadoes would be somewhere in Arkansas. But if the Cape goes higher up here, then the best tornado threat would be up near the Ohio Valley or Tennessee Valley. It's actually a little bit higher. Showing a 9 in western Kentucky and Tennessee. Pretty favorable Cape early on during the day, but the shear's a little bit low, and the shear gets stronger later in the afternoon. The significant tornado here, as you can see here, Arkansas here again, kind of getting the bullseye for it, where you got in between. Some significant tornado threat out in western Kentucky, and some of that in Texas. So it's really a hard decision to where to chase. Do you want to chase up here, or you want to chase down here? It's going to be one of these. It's going to be kind of difficult. I'll say in the middle, where the greens are in between. Let's go ahead and move on. So since we're still messing with the NAM, let's go ahead and take a look at the precipitation outlook here. As you can see here, for pretty much for tonight, we got some potential supercells in Kansas there, and even in Texas there. They become a squall clusters there that starts to move out. And here you go. Squall lines start to develop. Same thing over here. Some pretty good Boeing segments going on here. And maybe even potential supercells overnight. There is the potential there. In Texas, however, it dies down from losing from heating. But up north, there is still some cape around. Some instability. And we're not even supposed to go there yet. So let's look into the GFS or HRRR model. See what it does indicate for severe weather-wise. So here you go at 8 o'clock. We do have some K values up north. If we back this up, you can see thunderstorms do start to develop near Hays, Kansas. But when you move on to 8 o'clock, it goes pretty low, which tells you that's a cluster of thunderstorms. They're coming from the north, moving south. So let's look at the Cape and shear values. It's a little bit high around Wichita. So let's give it a sub of a tornado threat. And I can see why the SPC is upgraded to the 10%. It's because they have Wichita around there. It's got some pretty good wind shear to deal with. Let's look into your side. There's some there, but that's just passing thunderstorms. We do have some lift there. And your helicity is actually pretty high, so that's the reasoning why we have a 10% there. Now, keep in mind, I made these forecasts yesterday, so I'm likely going to change them in this video. Not the map, but the percentages, all that stuff. I'll be changing that stuff. So let's move on to the next day. Let's move out this way. We'll start off with 2 o'clock. We'll go to the Cape. So here it is at 2 o'clock. We got very favorable Cape already at 2 o'clock, especially around Dallas, already at 4K. Let's go to 5 o'clock. I'm sure it's going to get pretty favorable. Yes, it does. So now we switch over to the GFS here. Pretty favorable K for everybody. Your low pressure will be in north central Missouri there. Let's go to 8 o'clock. Daytime heat starts to fade away out this way, but you can see Cape really does try to stick around. And we have these spots here, random spots here like 1500. That's where you see some thunderstorms develop. And that's where you see some of that development happening. And there's 11 o'clock, and there goes thunderstorms are really booming away. We still got Cape values out ahead of it with 2,000. That's the same situation down here near Dallas. Where you can see here, there's a spot with nearly 0 Cape, and that is an indication of a thunderstorm. And that's a cluster of thunderstorms near Paducah. There. And keep in mind, that's going to be heading into the overnight hours. So the people that are in Tennessee, Kentucky, Southern Indiana, and Southern Illinois, got to watch out for the damaging winds, especially. It's really why I'm looking to the main threat. But if you go down here south, it's kind of a similar situation. You'll have clusters of thunderstorms, and may even have some supercells that can produce some large hail. But we're not done with the ingredients just yet. Here's the Cape and shear values. It's really in Arkansas that's getting most of it, a little over 1,000. Oklahoma is getting some of it. So if you're nearby Dallas, let's look at where your wind shear is here. Okay, this has been on the increase some. So around near Dallas is actually starting to get into the 20s, which that means that there's an indication a potential favorable environment for supercells. If you go on north, there is some higher amounts, but there's lower Cape values. So there's a little bit of difference here. Looking to sign in. It's not much, but it's still favorable for some severe weather. Even we're at 8 o'clock, we're still getting a negative 12 degrees Celsius here. Your helicity, very, very high for everybody. Basically, it's time to move up north because it's getting to the point where storms are not going to be that favorable down here, and these thunderstorms still keep on going up north. So this leads us to very early Thursday. So we have to start moving up north because these storms here are still going to continue. Here's your line of thunderstorms here. You see the Cape has gone down just because of daytime heating, so that gives an indication that these storms here should be dying down. Your wind shear, there's quite a bit of it back behind all this, but it's not really in a favorable environment. Your lifting index, we do have some negatives to deal with, so that gives an indication that these storms here can still be keeping on going here. So this is not the right one. Here we go. So here it is for tonight. So dew pointer, very good. Cape is good. Helicity is very good. Safe favorable. Lifting index. Wind shear and wind speed for the jet stream are good as well. I can see an upgrade on wind shear there. Damaging winds, large hail are there. Tornadoes, I'm thinking about upgrading to a 5%, not a 10% though, but a 5%. But just way I'm looking into precipitation, just doesn't look like those are supercells at all. But it could be, but they can be though. So my forecasting is an enhanced risk. Confidence on this is a 95%. I'm actually thinking about upgrading that to 5%. Keep in mind, I made this yesterday. And here's my forecast map here. So I got an enhanced risk from southern Kansas all the way back down to northern Texas. Could see this expanded, the slight risk getting expanded into near the Mexico border there. Now here's tomorrow. I got all these maxed out with enhanced risk here. Everything is very good at this point. Wind shear may get a downgrade. The jet stream is not going to get a downgrade. I got damaging winds, large hail, and tornadoes. Those are all at enhanced risk state. Confidence is at 80%. Here's my forecast map here. It seems like I have uploaded this to Twitter, and pretty much everybody agrees with this forecast here. I got a marginal risk, I'm at enhanced risk, stretching from northeast Texas through southeast Oklahoma, through much of Arkansas, and even portions of Tennessee into Kentucky and southern Indiana. That's where I'm indicating probably the best chance. Keep in mind, south has the best chance for potential tornadoes, like Arkansas, but up north, there's a 30% chance for damaging winds, because with that squall line, those winds will be cranking up in the atmosphere. So yeah, these storms here could be pretty high, so there could be some large hail to deal with, especially up north. Could see some large hail as well. So it seems like tomorrow's forecast is going to be difficult. I would not be surprised if we see an enhanced risk from SPC tomorrow. If models do add in a lot of Cape up in north, there will be a moderate risk, and that kind of changes up the setup. If we have a lot more Cape, like near 5,000 up north, that's it. And when we have a lot of wind shear to deal with, that kind of adds in a moderate risk there for just basically for the tornadoes. So that adds up to a 15%, and we could have the potential for some strong winds. There's a big couple models have been showing PDS tornado signatures up in northern Kentucky, but now that's kind of gone away at this point. But we'll see on the next few model runs. The SPC does update their Day 2 forecast at 1:30 Eastern Standard Time today. So this is all good for you guys today. Hopefully you enjoy this severe weather update. If you like this video, hit that like button. If you really do like my channel, hit the subscribe button. Hit that bell notification. You will never miss an upload. If you got any questions about this severe weather setup, put it in the comment section down below. I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.